All right, some interesting updates hitting the Nintendo Switch 2, following up on some big franchises that have been leaked before, but now we have further confirmation that they are absolutely happening for the Nintendo Switch 2, and it does seem like they could be announced sometime soon, maybe a Nintendo Direct coming up here, so we're going to get into that, and some confirmed interesting titles coming over from Inti Creates, definitely one of the better, smaller publishers and developers out there. But before we continue, we are giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 at 140,000 subscribers or on September 1st, whichever comes first. Subscribe, like, comment. The winner will be chosen at random, and it's a worldwide giveaway. Thanks, peeps. Devil May Cry 5 Devil Hunter Edition has been officially put on a retailer listing, and apparently this game is going to be due out in August. So this is from a large retailer in Switzerland, and apparently they've already started pre-orders for the Devil May Cry 5 Devil Hunter Edition for the Nintendo Switch 2, which we do know that that game is coming because there was a leaked ratings board, or somebody just found it on the ratings board. So when somebody puts something on a ratings board, that actually comes from within the company. Somebody in the licensing or somebody that works with the licensing and publishing put that to them. You have to pay for the rating in order for them to go through the game and say what's in the game so it can be properly rated for PEGI or properly rated for ESRB. Or usually we get postings when it comes to ratings for European or different countries, sometimes Koreans rating boards. So that's essentially what happened here with Devil May Cry 5. And that's how we got this name of Devil May Cry 5 Devil Hunter Edition, which is different from, I think, some of the other ones. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section there, but they do have a release date of August 25th. So I'm not sure if that's going to be correct. Most of the time there's just placeholders, so I don't think that Capcom gave them the exact release date for the game, because that usually doesn't happen, and I'm pretty sure that doesn't happen because this isn't announced yet. So I'm guessing that that is a placeholder from around the time that they think the game is going to come out. So we could hear more about this game maybe at Summer Games Fest. There could be a Nintendo Direct, there could be a Partner Showcase Direct, there could be all sorts of stuff where this is brought up, but I do think it's going to happen. I'm pretty sure that it's going to happen. And I think that there was one thing that somebody else told me. I think it was one of my users. They said, you know, it would be really cool if they brought over Devil May Cry 4 and everything there. So is there a possibility that Devil May Cry 4 also gets announced? Because if they put Devil May Cry 4 in addition to DMC 5 on the Switch 2, that means you can play pretty much all of the DMC games 1 through 5 on Nintendo's platform, which for the longest time, Devil May Cry was a PlayStation exclusive, then it went over to Xbox, and then there was just nothing on any Nintendo platform all the way up until the Nintendo Switch 1, and then they finally decided to put Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3 on the Nintendo Switch. So I do think that that's good. That's definitely a good thing, but we don't have Devil May Cry 4. That game's missing, and that's one of the better action games from the Xbox 360 PS3 era. It's a really good game, plays really nice, so if they can put that on the Nintendo Switch 2 as well, that would be dope. DMC 5 is a great game. There's a lot of content in the game, a lot of variety, and if this Devil Hunter Edition is what I think that it is, it's going to essentially be the special edition from the Xbox and PlayStation, where you get extra content, where you get updates and everything, so it's a better version of the original DMC 5. So I hope this happens. DMC 5, one of the better games released in the last 10 years or so it'd be cool if they brought this one over and it was really good. But speaking of bringing over games that could be good depending on who's looking at it, we have a update when it comes to Sonic Frontiers Definitive Edition. It does seem like the release date for the enhancement here of the original Switch game, but also this was on Xbox, PlayStation, PC. It looks like it's going to be coming out on June 23rd, 2026. This is according to Billy Bill Kun, and that's from their report. And they're also hearing that the game will cost $50 and a physical release is confirmed. So a real physical release, maybe it's not a game key card, but we'll have to wait and see. It does say here, however, it's unclear if that means a proper cartridge version or a game key card. Sega did have the Sonic Racing Crossworlds game that was on a physical cart, but they've also had other games like the Sonic Cross Shadow game that was on a game key card back around the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. So we'll see what they end up doing. I'm hoping that it's on a regular, proper physical cart here. So June 23rd, that's an interesting date when it comes to that, because that's actually the same day as the Sonic the Hedgehog anniversary. This year, the Sonic franchise turns 35, and this was one of the franchises that I had in my anniversaries. 2026 is like a huge year for anniversaries. We've got 30, 35, 40-year anniversaries for so many different great games out there. Obviously, Legend of Zelda, that's a big one, and hopefully we get some stuff when it comes to Legend of Zelda. But this source here with Bill Kun, or however you say his name, they've been very accurate when it comes to their track record and gaming leaks. They don't really miss too often. One example that Nintendo Everything points out is that they correctly reported on the release date for Assassin's Creed Shadows on the Nintendo Switch 2 before it was announced. So this person does seem to have some type of early access information to retailers or marketing material or something beforehand. So I do think that this is probably accurate. Also, we got a previous leak a bit ago about the Taiwanese classification database. There was something there when it comes to a rating. So Sonic Frontiers, once again, a game already came out back in 2022, Xbox, PlayStation, PC. It's an okay game that was rated all right, but I played it and I felt that it needed some more of something. But I felt that it was a good foundation for maybe Sonic to build on. Then maybe if they do a Sonic Frontiers 2, that game can be better. But the Switch version in particular, that was 30 FPS with frame rate dips. There was some resolution issues with that game. And it's okay, but a Switch 2 version would definitely be better for people who want to play Sonic Frontiers on the go on a dedicated actual console, you know, not something like a PC handheld or something. So, and I think it would be significantly better than the Nintendo Switch 1 version. And then now you have that ability to play on the TV and on the go when it comes to like the hybrid nature of the Switch 2. So what do you guys think about Sonic Frontiers Definitive Edition coming over June on the Switch 2, it seems like? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, moving on to the next topic. We got to talk about Azure Striker Gunvolt, because we have some new announcements for the Nintendo Switch 2, PlayStation as well, and PC. So let's first start off with Azure Striker Gunvolt Trilogy Enhanced Edition. That's coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 alongside the DLC Azure Striker Gunvolt GX. We got a brand new story here. So Inti Creates has announced Azure Striker Gunvolt Trilogy Enhanced Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. It will launch in 2026 with the additional story mode Azure Striker Gunvolt GX, which will be released as downloadable content for the existing PlayStation 5 and PC versions. So this game, for those who are maybe getting a little bit confused, because I know I was a bit, there's a lot of Azure Striker Gunvolt games. So Azure Striker Gunvolt Trilogy Enhanced first launched for the PS5, Switch, and PC via Steam back on July 24th, 2025. So that was not too long ago, just last year. Now here's a little bit of an overview of the game. Azure Striker Gunvolt Trilogy Enhanced is a collection of the 3 traditional 2D action platformers: Azure Striker Gunvolt 2014, Azure Striker Gunvolt 2016, and Azure Striker Gunvolt 3 2022 together in one release, complete with all the previously released downloadable content. Now this Switch 2 edition adds not only support for high frame rate and resolution display, but a new story mode called Azure Striker Gunvolt GX. Players will control a tag team duo of Gunvolt with new weapons and abilities. It also features a new inspiration system, encouraging players to swap between the two heroes at the right time to activate gameplay and score bonuses, kind of like a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torn of the Golden Country, flipping out between the characters there. So the Azure Striker Gunvolt GX story and downloadable content is also planned for the PlayStation 5 and Steam versions of the Trilogy Enhanced. So that is coming to those platforms. Now we have some more Azure Striker Gunvolt news, because Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger IX3 has been announced for the Nintendo Switch 2 and PC. This is a new game here, and it's due out next year, 2027. So here's some more details on the game. The third entry in the high-flying 2D action series, Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger IX3, sees Copen back in his home world facing a new threat. A mysterious girl appears before him, bringing warnings of otherworldly invaders known as IX Bearers. Featuring the same classic 2D action as the previous game, Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger IX3 ups the intensity with a new weapon, the Twin Energy Swords Divide Edge. Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger IX3 also brings unprecedented levels of character customization with the Code Customizer system, allowing you to build up Copen's strengths as you see fit. provided you can manipulate the system to your benefit. So Gunvolt, man, it's been around for a while now. 10 plus years they've been making these types of games, and I played a lot of Azure Striker Gunvolt back, I think, like on the 3DS or like the Nintendo Switch 1. I was playing these games quite a bit, and it's cool to see that they're still continuing on. Gameplay wise, these are essentially like the Mega Man Zero or Mega Man X type of games. I mean, they do have a lot of similarities, but then they add in RPG and other types of elements. So if you're into Mega Man or old school 2D action adventure platformers, this is probably one of the best ones out there. Like, they do a great job with these games. So I'm looking forward to seeing how all of this kind of works out when it comes to Nintendo Switch 2. Also, it's on PlayStation. They didn't announce this second game here, Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger IX3. That's just Switch 2 and PC, but I'm pretty sure they'll probably port it over to PlayStation at some point. They usually just launch on Nintendo and PC first, then they port it over later afterwards. So what do you guys think about everything that we talked about here? Quite a number of different games and things that are happening. What's the most exciting for you to get into, or what are you looking forward to when it comes to Switch 2? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.